Welcome to the Speak by Design podcast, where we study personal style, message structure, and message strategy so you can become a consistently compelling force. Let's dig in. Hello, this is lesson 40 out of our 50 lesson series. I cannot believe we are here. And the topic is team effectiveness. The question we're answering is, what can you do or say to help your team be more effective? And to answer that in one core theme, it's about improving the team's relationship with each other. And that is you, the leader's relationship with your team, as well as the peers' relationship with one another. And the leader has a lot of sway and influence over how that takes place. But let's talk about the benefits of having friendships at work. They're huge. And there's all kinds of data as to why it is so important to work on friendships at work and why these are so valuable. So let me share a few of those benefits. For one, you'll have less turnover because people are more satisfied. They're happier at work. You'll also see more collaboration because they want to talk to each other. They enjoy talking to each other. They enjoy sharing with you their tribulations as well as their triumphs. And you'll see that they have better well-being. Often when you see very healthy teams, they start doing fun things together, like going on a health kick or encouraging one another to walk or go do a race together or something that has a health aspect to it. They also feel more comfortable opening up about what is hard. They open up more about their personal lives, which means they bring more of their whole self to work. And the end result of that is greater performance and productivity from one another, and a total enhancement in positive feelings about the organization. So it's a huge benefit when people have friendships with one another on the team. Well, what gets in the way of this are first and foremost negative beliefs about each other. And you might not even know that what you're thinking is that negative, but it's things like this. I am dissimilar from Mary, or Raphael and I have nothing in common. When you practice thinking that in your head every time you see Raphael, it is creating distance with that person. And that ends up playing out in your actions. You sit farther apart from one another. You don't make as much eye contact. You don't ask Raphael as many questions as you would if you thought differently. So here's some different thoughts you could have about that person. You could say, I'm curious what Raphael thinks. Or you could say, Raphael has a great idea, I'm sure, about this. And you're not saying it out loud, but you're saying it to yourself to help create more intimacy with that person. And the ripple effect is amazing because what ends up happening is Raphael does the same to you. And it may not be immediate because we cannot control what's in someone else's head, and we'll never know what is in someone else's head, but we can start to put out a different energy that makes it more attractive for the other person to reciprocate. So here, I'm going to offer 4 beliefs that I want you to try on with your team as you think about your team members. The first one is, I love every one of these people. Now, notice I didn't say care. I want you to see if you can go all the way to love. If that's difficult for you, that says a lot about maybe love is not always available as an emotion in the workplace. Maybe somehow you have decided to turn that off. Can you open it up? Or is there a really good, valid reason you have for not being able to care about this person? And if you can't even go to care, can you say, I enjoy or I value? Is there a lighter verb in there that you could agree to that it would at least remove some of the distance you have with that team member? Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is your belief that you are a great friend to others. that you are a great friend to everyone on your team, that you allow yourself to be a friend to all. Now, as the leader, you can see how the leader might resist this and say, oh, no, 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 I don't have time. I don't have time to be everyone's friend. I need the distance. If you're trying to strengthen relationships right now, see if you can work on the friendship more for now. Maybe it's a season right now for you to work on friendships with everyone on the team. But for some of you, it may be that you already have existing friendships and you need more distance so that you can focus on other things. And then I would say you don't need to keep practicing this thought, because when somebody is practicing the belief, I am a great friend, they naturally start attracting more friends. The third belief I'm offering today is that you believe great things are happening today. Great things are happening today with these people, that all of you are going to make something great happen. And then reminding yourself that today is significant. So that's the fourth one. When you believe that today is significant, you come to the meeting, to the conversation with greater intensity and energy. Your team members will have an easier time listening to you. You will have an easier time holding their attention. Okay, try these thoughts on, because they end up influencing not only your own emotions, but the whole team's emotions, and especially your actions and your way of speaking to them. Let's imagine that it's your first month with a new team. This is where you can set a lot of good things in motion, and by activities. And the actions you take speak volumes about your feelings. If you have a new team, introduce yourself immediately by email. And when you come to meetings with those team members, make sure that you are always taking the time to do introductions. If your team member is new to the group, let your team member introduce themselves, or introduce them in a creative way to the rest of the audience that you already know. But make sure people feel formally introduced in settings so that they are able to put their best foot forward. Have a social event. Take time to all have lunch together. And if you're a virtual team, have that lunch virtually. See if you can make that event feel significant, even though it's over Zoom, that you are doing something social and fun with food. And I do think food helps in that way. And then have the team come to some of your other meetings. So let's say you are a part of a book club at work, or a Toastmasters club at work. Invite some of your team members to come with you to that event. So now you're helping them build relationships with other people, and you're sharing your network with them. Invite them to meet your leader or your skip level leader, or somebody in another part of the business, a cross-functional leader that you've developed a relationship with. By you sharing your network with your team, that is very inclusive, and that's helping the whole team elevate itself. And you're showing off your relationship with your new team member to that cross-functional leader. Be a connector within your organization, and that is going to strengthen your team immensely. When it is month one with a team, every little action and activity is speaking volumes about your leadership and your way of working. And you can be shaping culture so much during this month one. In month one, let's say you're starting to have a routine meeting on every Monday. In that meeting, what can you do in the opening to socialize, to shine a light on who you are and who they are outside of work, so that people feel comfortable talking about their family members and their loved ones and their passions and even their dreams outside of work with one another? Do that in the beginning of meetings. And maybe that requires you showing up early, or saying, everybody come at 8 o'clock, we'll start the meeting at 8:15. so that you give a grace period for some of that socializing time, as well as understanding that maybe people find that 8 a.m. as a too early of a start for some folks. And I just threw out 8 a.m., but maybe your meetings at a more reasonable time for some of you that start more at 10 a.m. And then there is the questions that you ask. When somebody says, "Oh, I had a sporting event on Sunday with my son," and nobody asks a probing question, that shows off that people don't have the time to really get to know one another. But if you stop the conversation and say, "What was the sport? Where was it? Did you win or lose? What's your son's name?" All of those little questions highlight your desire to get to really know someone. And that highlights to the whole team that it's important that we all know each other outside of work as well. The way you listen to people matters as well. When somebody shares all of that personal information and then you forget it, that doesn't demonstrate any desire to build a relationship. But if at the next weekly meeting you are mentioning the son's name, talking about the sport, or asking about when the next game is, that demonstrates you were listening and you care. But what about those of us who are on existing teams, teams that have been in place for the last 2 years? And we know we need to strengthen relationships, maybe even restore or rebuild relationships on the team. I'm going to offer you some new activities to begin. Now, if you try to do all of these at once, it's going to be chaos. Pick and choose the ones that you believe your team will enjoy the most. And if you want to offer it up to the team of what do we want to start doing, maybe they will tell you what they care about. Otherwise, I would try to do a few of these without calling attention to it. So the first one is celebrating milestones like birthdays or milestones in the project. It's our 1 month anniversary on this project. It's almost like it's a marriage on the project. Little random acts of kindness, bringing somebody a book that you enjoy, that you finished reading, that you think they will enjoy too. And it doesn't need to be a business book. It can be a fiction book. It can be something fun and light, or something about parenting or taking care of older parents, something that you know would be relatable and interesting to that person. It could be, if you know the person enjoys wine, bringing them a wine magazine. It's a random act of kindness that demonstrates you know who they are outside of work. You know what they care about, what their passions are, what their dreams are. So if somebody really wants to travel the world and they mention wanting to go check out Croatia, and you see something on Croatia and you bring it into the office and say, "I want you to keep this nearby so you don't forget your goal. Someday you will go there. And I can't wait for you to have to use this map I brought you." Also, team building activities. Now, don't call them team building activities because that takes away some of the magic of it. But let me tell you what some team building activities are. Sure, it's working on a service project together or playing a fun game of dodgeball. I don't know if there are many teams that would do fun things like that, but some do. You hear of, especially in consulting firms, that will prioritize doing something really out of the box with one another, going bumper car racing. But a dinner, a lunch, even getting together and going through a training together. One of the added benefits of the trainings we do with teams is that the team members have to give feedback to each other. And in giving feedback to each other, really meaningful, constructive feedback, they deepen relationships without even knowing it. Because the goal of the training was to learn something, but the actual outcome, the greatest outcome from that training, is the personal relationships that get strengthened from that training. And then giving people personalized individual recognition, not necessarily in front of the team. Occasionally that That's very powerful, but if you do that too much and some people are being over celebrated over others, if the team is not strong enough, that could create unnecessary envy. But very personalized, private recognition is so powerful for your team. And even if, let's say, it's a peer relationship, you giving very personalized, private recognition to that person. So let's say my person is Mary, and Mary really helped me out. And I saw something that she did that went unrecognized by our leader, but I could recognize her. Now, how could I recognize her? A very creative way would be to come in with a fake trophy. I think many of us have trophies around our homes that are collecting dust. Dust it off, change the nameplate or even just put something over the actual title and bring it in and say I wanted to give you this trophy to recognize your efforts in helping me last week. And it's something that you can put on their shelf in their office to remind them of how great they were in helping you with that effort. And then looking for fun things, always looking for fun things you can invite the team to do together. And it could be going to a baseball game, it could be doing some wellness effort together. So, a wellness effort, maybe it is let's go to a yoga class. There are some companies that every other Friday are having a fitness instructor of some sort come to the office, or maybe once a quarter you call it mystery outing, and one team member is in charge of creating the mystery outing. And there is a budget. Give a budget to this. Maybe you go to an escape room together, or you go learn how to paint together, or you go paint pottery together, and then you do an exchange like a white elephant exchange where one another receives each other's pottery. So everyone has a piece of pottery in their office or at home that reminds them of this team member. Let your creativity go on this because the more creative it is, the more memorable it is. The more it's unlike anything they've ever done before, the better. But what about when you are meeting one on one with team members? This is your opportunity to go more personal and deeper with people. So, I'm going to offer some ideas of what to do when you are privately having an update meeting or discussing something with someone. And this is you using more casual conversation and showing complete, genuine interest. Get off the phone, get off the laptop, make meaningful eye contact so that the other person knows you're incredibly focused on them. And share some personal stories. What are you passionate about? Who are the people who have inspired you? And what are your hopes and dreams? What are your aspirations professionally as well as personally? And I'll talk about exactly what topics you can cover because sometimes people say, I don't want to go too personal. I don't want to talk about my problems. You don't want to talk about deep, dark problems that are going to haunt the person you're speaking to, but it's okay to share normal struggles that every human has, normal struggles that people have in parenting and taking care of a pet, in taking care of a parent, a sibling. We all have so many common experiences outside of work, but when we don't share those struggles a little bit, it is hard to have a meaningful connection with someone at work. A great relationship at work is someone who you can talk about personal opportunities with, as well as personal problems or struggles. That you can talk about business opportunities with this person, as well as business struggles. If all you can talk about with this person are business problems, it's going to be a really transactional and uninspired relationship. If all you're talking about are business opportunities, then it is a shallow relationship. If you're only speaking about sunshine and what is possible, it doesn't seem like the relationship is rooted in reality. Now, when someone does share their struggles, whether it's business struggles or personal struggles, Suspend your judgment. Do not show a recommendation about how they should live their lives personally or what they should do, even around their business problem. Listen, judgment free, and recognize what they're doing right. As best you can, put them in their shoes and say, that sounds hard. Do you want me just to listen, or do you want me to brainstorm some ideas with you? Being that kind of gentle, nurturing voice to them while they're talking about struggles is going to deepen the relationship and the trust that you have with one another. Let's wrap up with an experiment. With your next opportunity to talk with a coworker, open up more about yourself, your personal interests, your travel experiences, maybe some of your weekend activities, a recent movie, TV show, or book that you read, even some of your professional goals and aspirations, or something that you want to see improve in the community or in a mission that you're passionate about that is about helping the greater good, the world. Without getting political, without talking about religious beliefs that you hold, share who you are at your essence by opening up on some of this more than you normally have with that person, and see how it changes the relationship, and see if it gets matched. Most often when we open up, the other person opens up as well. And feel the ripple effect of that, because when you have a deeper foundation with one another, you are able to tackle the challenges at work in a more fun, productive way. And that is how you improve team effectiveness. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great day. If you are enjoying all of these lessons, but now you're hungering to turn all of this into skills and habits that make this work intuitive and natural so that you don't have to think about it, then you want to join Speak by Design University. That's our coaching program that gives you private coaching, group coaching with me, group training, self-paced learning, as well as exceptional networking with other people like you. This program is for managers and above, people whose careers are on fire and they're looking to hit their next level, and they want to do that sooner rather than later. Check it out at speakbydesign.com/join. That's speakbydesign.com/join, and you can start with us at the first of next month. We hope to see you there.